YouTube, this is me, Asian Dave, aka Fanatical for Jesus. I just want to make a video. Um, it's been a while since I talked about this topic, but I just want to talk about like mania and bipolar. Like, I don't know, go more in depth, unpack it. Yeah, and I'm going to try to I'm gonna speak kind of slowly because I want to actually make what I say come out without saying like and a lot. So, anyways, so what I was saying, like, alright, what I was saying about bipolar and mania specifically. Okay, bipolar at one time used to be called it used to be called manic depression, and because yeah, it used to be called manic depression. And for, a good reason. When people got manic, they got really up there. When they got depressed, they got really depressed, and they'll fluctuate between those two. Uh, e- okay. Anyways, this is really hard. This is really hard. All right, so I don't know. It's always bipolar affects people in different ways. Everybody's individual and it affects them in different ways. So really, I can only talk about my experience with bipolar and mania, and maybe give us some general information about it. Yeah. Okay. Bipolar. Okay. Bipolar gets. Bipolar gets misdiagnosed a lot in people in the beginning because it gets misdiagnosed as schizophrenia or major depression disorder. Because with bipolar, when someone gets depressed, they do exhibit symptoms of someone that's in major depression. And on the flip side, people that are bipolar that get really manic, they can exhibit symptoms of schizophrenia, like grand delusions of grandeur, and even sometimes hallucinations and stuff like that. So it gets misdiagnosed a lot. But what people don't know is that if you just have one manic episode in your life, like a full-blown manic episode in your life, you're diagnosed as bipolar. That's all it takes. But okay. So, anyways, oh man, this is difficult. Anyways, so I'm gonna start off with talking about crap. Stop. This is really difficult. All right, so I'm gonna start off talking about mania. Okay, when people with bipolar get manic, like, okay, first off, you don't have to have, like, manic, there's a difference between manic and hypomanic. And yes, hypomanic, you do exhibit a lot of symptoms of mania, but it's not a full-blown manic episode. And that's pretty much what I struggle with usually. I've only had 2 full-blown manic episodes in my life. Most of the time I just have hypomania. But manic, when someone's in manic, they're going to be like super pumped up. They're gonna want to do like a bunch of crap that, like, even if it's stuff that they normally would never do, they would want to do it. Like, they would want to write like 10 novels, even though they're not a writer. Like, or even if they are a writer, they could bust out, like, they'll just start writing like crazy. They could want to go run a freaking 10K marathon, even though they're not in shape for even a 1K marathon or a 1 mile marathon. They could, I don't know, they'll want to go join the Olympic swim team. They're going to want to get on a rocket and fly off to the moon. And, like, see what I'm saying? They're going to have like a lot of these thoughts, and sometimes the thoughts can be embarrassing because it is embarrassing to know that you thought these crazy things at one time. Like, I look back on my 2 manic episodes that I have, and I'm embarrassed by them because they're just like outlandish. I'm like, wow, I thought that. Like, it's just weird. Um, yeah, but then there's, I mean, a lot of great people out there who struggle with bipolar. Like, there's great artists. Like, I can't remember. Oh man, I can't remember exactly who, but I know that there's like famous artists and poets and stuff out there who struggle with bipolar disorder, and when they go into a manic episode, they end up painting like these works of art that are amazing. But then they become depressed and they don't do anything. Like, so I mean, it could be a good thing and a bad thing. I typically, when I don't know, when I'm hypomanic, I kind of like it because I'm like, feels like I'm on cloud nine and I could like conquer the world. Like, I stay up like days and night, like probably 3 4 days and nights on end without with very little sleep. Like, I aspire to do a lot of things. Like, I say I'm gonna like write this book. It's gonna be such a great book. I'm going to do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make a bunch of YouTube videos and make it big on YouTube. Yeah. Like, it's just, I don't know. There's just a lot of thoughts that go on in your head, and you just feel like you gotta get it out, and your speech becomes really pressured. You just like a waterfall. You just blah. You just anytime you talk to someone, they can ask you something simply like "How are you?" and next thing you know, you're word vomiting all over them, like, because you can't stop talking. Um, yeah, and that's so that you do things when you're hypomanic, like you'll overspend. Like, yeah, I've done that. That's my problem. I overspend. Like, I freaking, like, yeah, I just overspend on stuff that sometimes I don't even need, but I'll just buy it just because I can. And like, when I get hypomanic, I have no concept of budgeting. Like, I just spend, 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 spend. Or, like I've already mentioned before, high risk behaviors like having sex with multiple partners, or having sex multiple times. Um, yeah, it's just, yeah, like, it's a lot. Like, and then there's depression, where when someone's depressed, they could do anything from crying all the time, or they just are comatose in bed, or they're just going through their day, but they're not talking, they're not making eye contact with anyone, they're kind of isolating themselves from people, and that's typically what I do when I'm depressed. Like, I don't really just stay in my room and just cry or just lay in bed and do nothing. No, I'll go throughout my day and do things that I need and want to do, but I won't be talking very much. I'll be avoiding people. I'll be isolating and stuff like that. Um, so I don't know. That's how, like, I don't know. Bipolar and depression, like, they're really tricky, like, to deal with. Like, they're really hard for someone to go through. It definitely is. Like, when I'm manic or hypomanic, well, when I'm manic, there's pretty much no talking to me at all. Like, I will not make sense when I'm manic. I'm just like, the best thing you could do when I get manic is to help me get to the hospital. That's it. But when I'm hypomanic, you could talk to me, and you have a better chance when I'm hypomanic to actually reason with me and help me out than when I'm manic. Which, thankfully, I don't really have. I only had, like I said, I only had 2 manic episodes in my life, but I have a lot of hypomanic episodes. And when I'm hypomanic, I'm easier to talk to But I don't know. Like, if you start talking to me, I'll just word vomit all over you and just overpower you with my words, pretty much. Like, you probably get so overwhelmed with just me talking that you'll just be like, okay, I don't want to talk anymore. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Then when I'm depressed, it'll be like, fudge. When I'm depressed, it would pretty much you would pretty much have to take a pair of pliers and force me to talk just to get me to say even two words, because when I'm depressed I really don't want to talk. Isolate. You'll have to literally come track me down and force me to talk to you, because I won't talk to you even if you do track me down. It's just, I don't know, it's definitely, it's difficult for someone with bipolar, like, to struggle with both of these. Like, actually, like, I would love it if I just had schizophrenia or if I just had major depression, because then at least that's one thing that I know to deal with. I'm not downplaying the struggle of people with schizophrenia or downplaying the struggle of people with major depression. So please do not think that's what I'm doing, because that's not what I'm doing at all. I do understand that people that just struggle with just schizophrenia and people that struggle with just major depression, I do understand that that struggle is really, really, really hard for them. I get that. All that I'm saying for me personally is that sometimes when I'm having to deal with mania and depression and it's going back and forth, it's fluctuating, it gets overwhelming, and it's exhausting to go from 1 minute being high up here, like you're on top of the world. You could do anything you want to do. There's no stopping you. There's no bounds. You could pretty much fly to the moon and back, to also going straight down here, like out of nowhere, to being to the point where, you know what? I hate life. There's nothing for me. I should just kill myself. Nobody will miss me. Like, this is the end. Like, there's no getting out. And then all of a sudden jumping right back up to be like, oh yeah, I could go run a 10K mile or a 10K marathon right now. I could go join a rodeo. I could go paint like 30,000 pieces of art, even though I'm not an artist. I could go do this. I could go do that. And then bam, drop it again out of nowhere and be like, this sucks. I don't really want to live anymore. Like, who would care if I just died? And also jumping right back up to being like, oh my gosh, oh, this is amazing. I just want to go berserk, just start jumping around, start hollering, I just want to throw a party and invite everybody over, play some loud music, do this, and also bam, again out of nowhere. Be like, you know what? This sucks. This really does. But yeah, you see what I mean? You see how that can get exhausting? Like, it's just going up and down constantly. It gets exhausting. Like, I wish I could just stay way up here, or I could just stay way down here. Like, that would be, to me personally, I think it would be a lot easier for me to handle. Like, I really do not like I really don't like how my modes go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Like, I don't know. But again, like I said, I'm not downplaying people with schizophrenia or people with major depression disorder. So please, do not think that I'm doing that, because I'm not. Anyways, that's all I have to say about this topic. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like, I would really like to hear what your guys' thoughts are. Like, don't one thing that I really struggled with when I first found out about my diagnosis was coming out and just talking about it. Like, 'cause I was ashamed. I thought people would think I was crazy and stuff like that. But over time, I've learned that when I talk about it, like, there's other people out there who could either identify with what I'm saying, or because they themselves struggle with it, or because they know someone who does. So if you're one of those people, don't be ashamed. It'll be okay. You could talk about your struggle. It's okay. There's Nothing to be afraid of. There's actually organizations out there that could help you, like NAMI, NAMI. I'll even post a link to their website in the description box below so you guys can check it out. They have great resources. There's a bunch of TED Talks about this. I'll maybe try and post a couple of those too. And also, wherever you're living, there are organizations that can help you too, like local organizations. Like, for instance, I live here in Colorado Springs, and here we have Aspen Point. We have a bunch of Aspen Point offices around here that are great resources for people with mental illness. They have psychiatrists there, they have nurses there, they have therapists there, they have groups every day. Like, they are a phenomenal group. But yeah, anyways, so that's all I gotta say. Please let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And as always, don't forget to rate and subscribe. I make videos daily on a variety of different topics, so make sure you rate and subscribe. I won't let you down. Alright, God bless you, deuces, and peace out.